Did you ever think living in Cape Coral you would see an Olympic athlete practice in your backyard?
On my back door, absolutely not.
Well, that's kind of cool. What event is he in?
Is Fernando Jorge, and he's an Olympic champion canoeist. The Cuban native competed in the Rio Olympics and won gold in Tokyo. In July, Fernando will be the first Cuban to ever compete on the refugee Olympic team.
Un poco complicada.
My story is complicated. I had to leave my home country because of a lot of problems there.
Con los problemas que existían y las excepciones que había sufrido, entonces.
So in 2021, I came to Miami in the U.S., and then I moved to Cape Coral.
Why would you move to Cape Coral from Miami?
Miami, y después me mudé a Cape Coral.
Today, we rode alongside Fernando's first training session of the day, a brisk 10-kilometer paddle. After this, he'll hit the
Look at Rachel staring at Jorge's ass there.
gym, then come back for another canoe session. Watching Fernando train brings so much joy to Juan Ortiz Lopez. He wanted to do something special for him. So he bought all these flags and convinced neighbors to hang them up at their docks. He says when Fernando first saw them, he got emotional.
He just came down and he kind of stopped.
Me gusta mucho y creo que.
The water in the canals is so toxic it burns my eyes. The people that hung the flags thought I was crying tears of joy. It was actually very painful.
With each paddle Fernando takes, the closer he gets.
A cease and desist has gone out to a big corporation, and it will be followed by a lawsuit. And it because it involves in racism. Racism.
Entertainer, you have a fag.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny boy, again, calling someone a fag. I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. I don't care if you said it 35 years ago or 30 minutes ago. There is no place for anybody in my Democrat Party who uses that term in a derogatory manner. Good morning, Fernando Jorge fans. That's right. Cape Coral's probably most famous athlete is now competing in the Olympics. He just did his little match today. He came in fourth. I don't believe that's the end. I think he qualifies for the last final round. I don't know when it is, but I will bring that to you. And again, he is probably one of the most famous Cape Coral residents. I say resident because we know now the most famous house guest in Cape Coral by far has to be John Melendez. Regardless of what we're going through, you cannot take that away from him. He is the most famous house guest in Cape Coral. I have confirmed that John Melendez has transferred his entire interest in that Cape Coral house to his mother. So what does that mean? Well, he has to file documents with the county, Lee County, which we've all heard of. We all know about the water problems there. We all know how bad this town is. But John Melendez filed a legal document that has many errors in it, and that transfers his interest in his real property in Cape Coral to his mother completely. Remember, mom owned half, and now she owns 100%, and he transferred it for the large sum of $10. And sometimes people say, why $10? In law, they teach you that a contract is not valid unless there is consideration. And consideration means some form of payment. And you have to have some payment. That's why they do minimal amounts. It used to be $1 or $10. But either way, we know now Mrs. Melendez has subjected herself to potential liability if someone has claimed that John Melendez could be liable in a lawsuit. Now, I don't know why he did that. It's something where he now has to face that consequence. And I will be frank with everyone. In terms of the lawsuit that I had filed, when he said, have your attorneys reach out to me, we did. And we said, John, if you want to end this now, convey a settlement offer. Convey it. And what does he do? He then goes into his natural state of, I want to have all your this and I want that. So all my attorneys said, John, that wasn't an offer. Proceed with the lawsuit. Now we offered an extension of time to answer the complaint to him. He didn't want to do it. He didn't provide an offer, which he wanted our attorneys to contact him. And then he was begging the attorney to have me call him. And just not going to go that way. They don't want me contacting him. I won't contact him. There's no deliveries to him. There's absolutely zero contact I'm having with him. I'm following the attorney's advice with regard to that. So now, after that, we find out that behind everyone's back, he goes and transfers his asset, his only asset that we're aware of in terms of real property, to his mom. And again, we're going to go through exactly what that does. So now in New York State, you can amend your complaint. What does that mean? You know, I filed a summons and complaint against John Aaron Melendez alleging the defamation. I get one opportunity to amend the complaint. I can add people to it. I can add allegations. I could take allegations away. We could have settled it had John provided an offer and we came to terms, but he didn't. He decided to go the wrong route, and that's okay. Now it's time to figure out, were there any fraudulent conveyances? This, in my opinion, and it's clear, was. It certainly was. Unless, of course, John Aaron Melendez is saying that a house in Cape Coral is only worth $10. And again, his interest was just half. His mom always owned half, and he owned half. But now, according to the records that I saw that were filed with Lee County, John Aaron Melendez has no interest in that house. He's clearly just a house guest, and his mom now is the rightful owner. It was a foolish thing to do. I'm not going to give him legal advice. And again, don't take any advice from me or this show. This is just a comedy show, but it is from Lazy Law News. We do report the news specifically with regard to law. And obviously, John Aaron Melendez, the biggest celebrity that we know, obviously the biggest celebrity in the Dabbleverse, we report on. But John had an out, and he didn't take it. And then behind everyone's back, he did a foolish thing, because now, of course, you will see what is going to happen either today, tomorrow, or by Friday, the amendment to the complaint. And John, I saw a document that was false. There was a false document that was someone photoshopped, and I thought it was real initially, saying that we had filed for a default judgment against John Aaron Melendez. That document's not true. The newspaper showed it. And again, they didn't know. I thought it was real too. I actually asked Brittany, I'm like, did we do this already? Because it didn't seem like he had the time to answer had expired. So that document is not accurate. But what is accurate, which I had to verify first, is that John Aaron Melendez conveyed his interest in his real property in Cape Coral to his mother for $10. Not a bright move, but we're going to see what happens as an exact result of what he did. And when everyone thinks or hears or sees he had an out, he had a way to protect his mother. And what did he do? He started to transfer assets away and then offer nothing but just nonsense. So he had a way to protect his mom. He didn't do it. That's okay. I'm going to just allow the attorneys to handle that. Got too much else going on today. But Jorge, right here, we saw before, is racing. He took fourth again. He will be competing again. I just don't know exactly when he will be competing, but he now, by far, is the most famous resident of Cape Coral. Again, he's not more famous than John Aaron Melendez, but he is performing on the world stage.
So do we.
Me gusta mucho y creo que
Cuba is full of poverty and crime, and I will be sentenced to life for defecting. But I prefer prison over Cape Coral. From Paris, I plan to fly back to Cuba.
I'm on the road to Paris. Rachel Whalen.
Surgery.
These fucking things. You should see my chest. I was admiring my body in the gym. Oh my God, I'm fucking skinny now. I'm literally skinny. My pants are falling off me. I'm fasting. I'm pumping.
And I did say this, despite all of what we're going through, John does look good. At least his arms look good.
I'm sticking and moving. You kidding me? Fucking hell. The Duke. Wrinkle 12. What kind of son are you dragging your ma into a lawsuit? I don't know what you're talking about there. Wrinkle 12. What kind of son are you dragging your ma into a lawsuit? I don't know what you're talking about there.
All right. So Vince the lawyer was on yesterday, and Vince the lawyer had a lot to say. Well, he didn't actually say much at all. He was playing videos of other lawyers saying things.
It's amazing, sir. You're the best.
Shut up. All right, here are the badges that Vince the lawyer talks about and what they mean in a hypothetical. Let's just say if Vince the lawyer had a friend named Stuttering Juan. Stuttering Juan was being sued, and Stuttering Juan all of a sudden sold his house to a or not sold, but what it was called?
Transfer of ownership.
Oh, transfer of ownership.
Yes.
Well, what would that be like? Hypothetically,
hypothetically, sir. I feel you're very
attorney,
distracted by the lighting, sir.
is what I just did going to be considered a fraudulent transfer? Now they took away the word fraud. They use avoidable transfer. You may see that in New York. So if you're Googling New York law, it's voidable transfer. No big deal. It's the same exact thing. No one particular act is going to constitute fraud in terms of fraudulent transfer. What they have is this system called badges. And if you have one or two badges, if you have two badges, most likely the judge is going to determine that the transaction is a fraudulent transaction. And that's a great point made by me. The way the courts are going to handle any type of transfer is they're not automatically going to say that John R. Melendez conveyed his house for $10 to his mother is a fraudulent transfer. He could have a valid reason for doing it. There could be exceptions, but we are going to evaluate it not just on how much money he received. We're going to use a factor test. We're going to use these different factors and we're going to award a badge. They're calling them badge, but it's just really factors. How many of these factors, how many of these badges do you have? And then we're going to weigh it against other cases and then make a decision whether this is a fraudulent conveyance or not.
That is fantastic. So now Vince the lawyer is going to go through these different badges and they're going to see if they pertain to his hypothetical lawsuit.
Just go through the first badge here that she puts up.
You might be retarded, sir.
You shut up.
Transfer or obligation to an insider, meaning did you transfer this asset to someone for whom you are related to, that you have control over, something like that?
You mean like your mommy?
Boom!
Who does everything for you?
Yes.
Your request, who treats you like a 58-year-old man baby?
I believe
there's no doubt that badge number 1 will be applicable to John R. Melendez. Now, when I did this video, I had no confirmation that John R. Melendez was dopey enough to subject his mom to potential and actual lawsuit now because of his transfer. In fact, I was working on potentially resolving this. Had he come to our attorney with a valid offer, a bona fide offer, we had said that you don't even have to retain an attorney. We will extend your time to answer, because he either has 20 days or 30 days, depending on how it was served in New York. You don't have to answer, we said to you, John R. Melendez, if you engage in good faith negotiations. And his version of good faith negotiation was to go behind everyone's back, transfer his only real asset to his mother, and then demand all these other things from us that had nothing to do with the case and without a valid offer. So he had an out. He had a valid out. And now he's not only subjecting his mom to a lawsuit, but the beautiful thing is the people in my Democratic Party in 2020 enacted a new law making it so much tougher for debtors to escape their debts. We are entitled to attorney's fees if we show that this was a fraudulent transfer. And the beautiful thing is these badges and the system that Rocco is using here, a green puppet and me, are analyzing are exactly what the judges in New York are going to use.
that hypothetically Stuttering Juan would check off this bad. All right. So that's a check in the box for Stuttering Juan on badge 1. Let's go to the next badge. Badge number 2.
Number 2, the debtor retained possession or control of the property transferred after the transfer. I mean, we're 2 for 2 so far in our hypothetical. This has nothing to do with anyone in reality. This is just a hypothetical, my good buddy Stuttering Juan, not John, Stuttering Juan here.
So badge number 4. Before the transfer was made or obligation was incurred, the debtor had been sued or threatened with a suit. Uh-oh. That sounds like it could be John.
No, sir. For weeks before, John kept saying he doesn't know what anybody's talking about.
So that's 3 out of 4. It's 3 out of 4 badges that Stuttering John seems to have, be in possession.
I would 100% agree with the legal analysis of that green puppet. 100%. Clearly, those 3 apply here. And at the time, again, I did not know that John R. Melendez would subject his mom to a lawsuit and allow his opponent to now potentially collect legal fees. And you may say, Vince, well, you're not paying your attorney. Well, technically we are, but the statute that was written, again, was written by super smart people. Not always, but in this situation, because people try for hundreds of years to escape their liabilities. Hundreds of years. But they say now, if you show the transfer was fraudulent, then you can get attorney's fees even if you're not paying your current attorney. Because a lot of times what happens is the contract for which people are trying to collect debts don't allow for attorney's fees, and sometimes they have their own in-house attorney. It doesn't matter. The courts are going to award attorney's fees, which is big. In fact, I told you in a case that we had just won, the jury decided it was about $600,000, and then just the interest alone was another $600,000. And the case against me one time, I had to pay over $100,000 in attorney's fees for a case that I lost, and that's in addition to paying for whatever the damages are. So it's not fun. It's not smart to have done. I don't believe John went to an attorney at all, but I don't know, to tell him to do this. But this was absolutely foolish, especially when the fact that he had an out. He could have settled this case. He offered nothing, and now this is what he did?
He's collecting all these stinking badges. It's fantastic. Thank
So
you.
another badge, the transfer was substantially all the debtor's assets.
So basically he's saying all John has is that house. All right, so pretty much John is I think is what Vince is trying to say. Here's the
consideration. What was received in exchange for whatever it is you transferred? Boom!
Yeah, for example, if you're stuttering Juan and you sell your interest, which is 1/2 of real property, to someone for, let's say, $20.
$10.
Clearly, they're not getting the equivalent value. It doesn't have to be fair market value, but it has to be equivalent value, reasonably equivalent value. That's a huge red flag.
Oh no! Why would someone be doing that? It's fantastic. So basically, what Vince is saying is John is and not only is John but Vince can basically sue whoever John had given that deed over to, which
Very, very smart analysis and legal analysis by that green puppet.
was his mama.
Is that house now his mom's box?
Yes, it is his mom's box. But that's so now John has put his mom in a horrible situation. Why would
Not
he
the
do
first
that?
time, sir.
I know it's not the first time, but he always talks about how wonderful she is. Why would he do this to her?
Wrinkle 12. What kind of son are you dragging your mind to a lawsuit? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. No idea. Yeah, baby. Met a nice girl on Bumble. Tina. Vietnamese. Hottie with the body.
So John had claimed to have met a girl named Tina from Vietnam on Bumble. We spoke to Tina. She recorded a lot of their conversation. I have it. It wasn't on Bumble. It was on Tinder. John likes to make these misrepresentations that he's on Bumble, Tinder. He is on both, but they actually met on Tinder. She's from Fort Myers, which we know is a little bit, it's less trashy. It's a little bit more trashy than Cape Coral. They don't have shit trenches there for the most part. But yeah, John did meet this girl, Tina.
Tina done spend the night with the Duke.
Now, she does not agree with that statement. She didn't spend the night. All right, here's the hidden recording. I'm going to give the rest of this recording to the dues payer, but this is what Tina sent to us. I wanted to make sure, and we altered John's voice and her voice, just to make sure that John was telling the truth.
Vietnam, you Polly? How much? $15. $5 is all my mom allows me.
John says $5 all my mom allows me to spend, and this is the thing now. Since his mommy owns his Florida house, his mommy owns the Long Island house where he was staying and working from, and he has no real property, no rented property in California. Where does John live? Where does he live right now? Because he told that mortgage company, oh, I forgot about this. This is actually very interesting. When you make these transfers, sometimes, and this may not apply to John or Melendez, but most likely it does, but I don't know, sometimes you have to notify your mortgage carrier. In fact, they want to know straight away, because now he may have to pay that entire mortgage off right now. I bet you he did not notify them. I'm assuming. This is all assumption. I don't know for certain, but if you transfer a deed while you have a current mortgage, most likely you're obligated to inform that mortgage issuer, and they may demand full payment right now because now technically they're going to say that only one person is living there. We sold this to you under the guise that both of you are living there. That's not going to eliminate John's responsibility in terms of having to pay it, but the mortgage companies know that a lot of these people do this. They try and transfer their interest away and then leave and not pay. This is very interesting. I don't know if John Edward Melendez looked into it. I don't know if that's his situation, but in a lot of situations it is. And John, of course, always cheap. My good buddy John Edward trying to negotiate with Tina, the Vietnamese woman he met on one of these dating websites. And we know that a lot of these dating websites have a lot of escorts in them too.
Okay, $10. What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything?
Ooh, and the Duke was good.
And of course, we don't know for certain if the Duke paid, but that's what this girl Tina is claiming. I'm not sure, but the Duke is claiming he was good. And we know he said that he spent the night. He didn't. He only did it for a half hour or an hour. I forgot. Now, in fairness to the Duke, she did say it was okay. It wasn't horrible. And again, we'll play the entire conversation at NerdCon. I'm not going to, but I'll let the guys play it.
Real good. The best. Thank you, Swan. The Warriors. That's right, Dick. She loved me long time.
John, why would you say she loved me long time? Do you know how prejudicial and racist that is? Of course, he was referring to the fact that a lot of girls from Vietnam have to deal with these rich, white, asshole Republicans. The second they say, I'm from Vietnam, they say, me love you long time because it's from the movie Full Metal Jacket, which I'll show. But John, it is despicable and disgraceful for anyone in my Democratic Party to actually do this. Putting down a woman based upon where her national origin is from is unacceptable, John. I know you're the Duke, and I know that you are a white guy living in an all-Republican area, but you cannot do this to females, especially females that don't have English as their first language. You try speaking a second language. It's despicable and disgraceful that in 2024 you're still doing this.
She loved me long time.
Me so horny. You keep lying. Me love you long time.
She loved me long time.
It's an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace that someone who claims to be in the Democratic Party would do this. But again, I always say, don't judge people on what they say. Judge them on their actions. John lives in an all-Republican state, an all-Republican area, as shitty as it may be. And look what he does. The second he gets a chance to be with a girl from Vietnam, the only thing he could do is a stereotypical, racist, prejudicial statement that they don't want to hear from John. They're human beings. They're women that happen to have been born in Vietnam. They don't need you, white man, putting them down.
Dickhead with no self-awareness. You don't have a network.
That is true. As much as John is a racist, that is true.
You got a failing YouTube show. Your Patreon numbers are tanking.
Who the fuck goes on Patreon? I've never been on Patreon once. I know AJ Benz is on Patreon. He refused to go to YouTube. But for me, I don't know. Patreon is just not my thing.
Thank you, by the way, to the 1,800 watch.
Oh, we always have a great laugh behind the Dues Payer's back. We always know that his shows are at 1.2 or 1.8. Now, again, in terms of live audience, that's not that high. I'm not making fun of that. I'm just making fun of the fact that it just always seems to be 1.2 or 1.8. That's not to say that they purchase 600 live viewers every show. I have no proof of that. Zero proof.
Live right now.
Okay, 1,800. Get the fuck out of here. 1,800.
When you tried calling me, I was in the barber chair getting my hair cut. My barber was in the hospital for 2 months. I haven't been able to get a shape up or anything, so I had to rush out there today. Got out.
So I guess that's John's current co-host. Probably will last another 2 weeks, I would imagine. But either way, he is, I guess, coming home from work.
I fixed up my face and hair.
Where are you now? Where are you now?
I'm in Atlantic City.
Are you on a bus?
I'm on the jitney.
The jitney? Now, you may not know why I'm laughing, but those of you who have been to Atlantic City know. There's only two people that take the jitney. The homeless or the really drunk at 2 a.m. The jitney, I don't even want to say the slang that the local white people use for it, but the jitney is generally for the really poor, really homeless. And it's just this van, this flop van that drives around Atlantic City in a circle. It stops at every casino. And you feel bad because the people that are generally coming off of it shouldn't be going into a casino. I mean, they have no money. That's why a lot of the homeless are on it. And also, I remember taking it when one of our friends had a condo there, and we would take it for some reason. Again, this was 15 years ago. Uber wasn't around. Taxis are expensive in Atlantic City, but to be on a jitney when it's daytime means that you're in that first class. And I feel bad laughing at that, but those who don't know Atlantic City or the jitney, it's generally just $1, I think. It used to be. The drivers are generally fun. They can bring a boombox and they play whatever they want. There's really no regulation about it, but it is really how the poor get around Atlantic City. Now, again, maybe he's being frugal, and I commend that, but the jitney is that.
Are you going home?
Yeah, but I won't be home for like another hour.
Oh, what a shame. I was going to talk to you. Dude, they're giving you a lot of shit at this dog shit. What the fuck, man? I mean, you're a dog lover. Who cares?
Nah, it's just because of that story I told that I had to have my dog to the vet and they had to use because he got stuck out when he was humping something. So, because I told that story on, I think, the Shitwire show, when they got mad at me, they're like, oh, Rob jerks off his dog, because I took him to a vet to get his little penis issue fixed. Did absolutely nothing. But like you said, weigh shit and
I was knocking on my door, but Rob.
I love how John disrespects his co-host, and he does this a lot, where he'll just walk away and then leave them there.
Rob, I got to put you off because I don't want you to say things. Hold on. What? I was staying here for a while. We water back on when I got here.
Okay, and again, this wasn't delivery from us. Again, I promised John Edward Melendez we will not give him any more free gifts until he wants them. And if he says he wants them, we'll start up again. But this is not for me. It sounds like the water guys, they just said the water is back on.
It's back on, but it still smells like sulfur.
That's hilarious. So we know because John bought in an area that doesn't have running water and it doesn't have any method to remove his solid waste, he has no water. There's no water. They are basically digging a hole in the backyard there and hoping that water comes up. And we know how toxic that area is because they had to have these stupid trenches. They had to be living on water. And we know how much that destroyed the land. We know that only a Republican that doesn't believe in climate change would ever live in Cape Coral. And that's the problem with that damn area. There is no running water in most of the area. And it smells like shit. When John is saying sulfur, that means it smells like shit.
All right. Yeah, no. I got water, but it still smells like sulfur.
This is on rollers, 5 wheels. Listen to him run over all the empty cans on the floor behind him.
or cats.
Listen closely here.
I'm telling you, Adrian.
He's just living in filth. He's only been there a few days. He's already living in filth. Let's fast forward to...
And it's disrespectful now because that's his mom's house. And when he's living under his mom's roof, he has to abide by his mom's rules. No girls, no beer cans littered all across the room. And I'm sure Miss Melendez is going to lay down a bunch of other rules. She is now the rightful and 100% owner of that house. So, John, when you're in your mom's house, you better be respectful. You went and did this little sneaky thing that was so dumb. But now we all know you don't own that house. You're just a guest there. And when you're living in your mom's house, under her roof, you have to abide by her rules.
To the water medic calling him back again.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, we're still doing it with the water issue.
It's still hilarious that both Carl and John secretly and separately did all the research and then bought a house in a place that doesn't have running water.
Oh, this is the water medic.
I mean, if you're in a town that has the water medic, I would imagine that would be a third world country.
This is the water doctor. Hello. All right, I'm inside if you need me. Just
Interesting there. If you study John Edward Melendez in his natural habitat, like we all do, we pick up on certain things. And I didn't pick up on this when I first saw this. But notice how he said the water medic. And I didn't even search this yet. But I can imagine in his mind, he knows now he's got to make up another lie because he doesn't want people harassing, nor do I, the water medic. We don't want you calling the water medic asking how John Edward Melendez was as a customer. Because technically he's not a customer. It's his mom. And there's no ever valid reason to bother his mom. His mom owns that house. She's responsible for all the upkeep. She's responsible for somehow figuring out how to get some clean water into that house. But then he switches it to the water doctor.
You know, just ring the doorbell. No, it's cool. Is it all clean now?
The guy just said, I just got to turn the valve back on.
Hey.
Yeah, I think I can hear. I think he's literally saying, yeah, no, just put it back on the setting that was on before.
That's what I heard.
And it should be good to go. And what's it?
No, in fairness to John Melendez, he said that all I have to do is turn the valve on and then it'll go back to the house. Now, I don't know where that valve is. And these guys make fun of John Melendez for not knowing where the water valve is. I don't know where mine is either. And I live in an apartment. Lori does all that stuff. Lori goes through and actually, she'll hire the plumbers. I wonder why. To clean the pipes. And she also knows how to shut the water off. I have no idea how to do it. And she does a lot of the plumbing in our apartment.
Let's see how John responds to this.
Is it cool if my cats drink that water?
Can you imagine? You live in a place where you get water finally, right? You figure out how to get water because there isn't running water. And then you have to ask, can my cat drink it? Like, who really cares if a cat drinks it and dies? You just get another cat. But the fact that you have to even think that potentially a cat will die from drinking well water, which presumably is going to be on you or near you. I don't know why he would even ask that.
Yes, sir. That is cool.
That's cool.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's rad. It's very cool.
All right, buddy. See you. All right. Got my water back up.
Yeah, baby. I mean, that's a big deal in Cape Coral. You finally get some running water. For most of us, we take it for granted. We do take it for granted. But in Cape Coral, it is time to celebrate when you get a little bit of running water. And again, it's not coming from anywhere but the hole in the ground that leads to a toxic little plume.
That's the show, man. This show is all about real.
Also, I just want to point out, because I never talk about this, but I do own a house near his house. So I'm familiar with the area. And we had to drop a lot of money into an RO.
Which, by the way, we all know that Carl and I started off good, and then when I posted the fact that he lived within walking distance, and I showed a picture of the text on Reddit at the time, which was probably to 10 people. Again, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that, and I apologize for that. But the other day, I texted him something that was private. I'm talking about either the lawsuit or the other thing, and then he does a breaking news on the Newspayer show and reads verbatim what I was saying. I believe it had to do with the fraudulent conveyance. So they break the news, and literally I wrote it in very great detail. And in fact, I was giving the opponent some even advice as to what he should have done. And Carl read that out. So then I wrote, all right, dude, I guess we're even now, but don't ever get mad at me again for that.
System,
yeah.
So that we could have potable water.
So that's reverse osmosis.
Correct. So the water that he's getting in with this treatment, because we have the same system that he's talking about,
right?
Don't drink it and do not feed it to your cats.
No.
The cat should not drink that water.
See, I don't get that. So I know Carl paid for a real system to, I guess, clean all the shit and the toxic from the water that they're getting. But why can't John? John doesn't have that system. Well, John's mom. So how is John's mom supposed to get drinking water into the house?
Just
what is this nightmarish place you two chose to live in?
There's fresh water everywhere, and you can't fucking get a decent water coming out of your sink for some reason.
Yeah. Who knew we had third world cities in Florida?
It's so weird. And I remember talking to people afterwards. It was like, well, this is unacceptable. They're like, well, you can get an RO system put in. It's $10,000
sure,
and
no problem.
$100 a month after that. You're like, wait. no one told us about this. Like, oh yeah, they didn't advertise the water sucks when you're buying a house here. I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Welcome to Cape Coral. We have 400 miles of canals. Did you know that? Over 400 miles of canals in Cape Coral. That's more canals than in Venice. But we didn't tell you that there isn't any drinking water. Pretty soon, in about 15 years, we're all going to get some running water, and we can use an outhouse, and we may get some sewage treatment pretty soon, in about 15 years.
I'm not surprised my realtor didn't bring that up.
Yeah. So here's what sucks about everything here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but John, if you wouldn't shower in it, you should not give it to your cats. Not that I should bring up showering in this instance, but.
Phone lines are open 747-233-4996. Call in. Let's talk about the Duke. Let's talk about the Duke now having to live under his mom's roof and his mom's rules. Can the Duke even bring girls back to his mom's house? I say no. I don't know if we'll ever get the chance to speak with his mom, but either way, she is the rightful owner, the 100% owner of the Duke's property, his former property in Cape Coral. So now John, 100%, this is confirmed, officially lives with his mom. And I'm not sure he made all the proper notifications. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. It's just my opinion that he would probably be required to inform his mortgage company and whoever issued the mortgage that he did such a unique thing.
Alrighty. Sorry, Rob. Sorry about that. I can't leave you alone anymore.
Oh, stop it. It was one.
PL, I don't know what this means.
This was very funny. So PL did this super chat. Very clever by you. I had no idea what it meant either. I thought maybe you were going to subtract the $10 that he got or add the $10. But if you do this math, the 12.5 million minus the 12.49, it actually comes out to 221. John Aaron Melendez didn't get the joke. I didn't even get it till I did it this morning.
I think that had a lot to do with it. The alcohol bloat in the face and the, if you want to know what that looks like, just tune into Stuttering John Melendez.
So Anthony Cumia now has entered the Dabbleverse. I think this was his first show on YouTube alone. Again, I'm not an Anthony fan per se, but he was talking about the Duke, so I figure we'll cover a little bit of it before we get out of here today.
Tune into a Stut Joe show, and you could see the face, the bloated face of dangerous alcoholism, physically dangerous alcoholism.
And prior to this, in fairness to the Duke, Anthony was saying how basically every day before his show, he would go to this little dive bar across from the office and then drink during the show and then after. And then obviously he attributes all that drinking to his recent medical issues. I think he had a heart attack or some form of heart surgery.
And listen to him try to speak and how he handles his life. That's a guy that can't handle his drinking. He gets blackout drunk, says like the nastiest.
I 100% disagree with Anthony here. John can handle his alcohol. I witnessed this. He had about 25 beers and maybe something else that wasn't alcohol. This was in Atlantic City because I witnessed this. I could testify to this under oath. He handled it nicely. We did a show after it. I think we did a show before it and during it.
Most horrible shit about people. And physically, he can't handle it either. He's a big, bloated, disgusting mess. So
Not anymore. Not anymore, Anthony. Take a look at his most recent pictures.
Little Stut Joe. I don't want to step on any toes. Uncle Rico, of course. And who are these podcasts? That Uncle Rico show is fucking fantastic.
Is he always this funny?
It is just, it's so well done. The whole outline of it is great. With Bob Levy and Mike, it's just, and Shuley he's perfect for that. They put together, like the packages they put together.
See, I never listened to Anthony. I didn't understand that he had this type of dry humor with a deadpan delivery. And I think that when he was with Opie, that other guy, because of the dynamic of the two together and then bringing it, you don't really get his true personality. And this is fucking hilarious.
And the time they take editing and having clips for the clips, it's just so well done. I love doing that show.
Maybe I will watch him more.
I can't think of another show I do with the frequency I do Uncle Rico, because it's just so much fun. And then when I'm not doing it, if I am just sitting here doing good point, Anthony, this show is such garbage. Thank you. When I'm sitting playing video games, I'll have it on in the background when I'm not even doing the show.
Imagine you finally get to play some video games, and the one thing you want to listen to is the Dues Payers show. And of course, Anthony's joking there. That's what makes it funny.
It's cool. Yeah, I just figured I'd look at some of the, why is Anthony ball washing Shuli? It's not a ball washing.
It's hilarious when you deliver something in deadpan and people think that you're being serious about it. And that's actually what makes a good delivery in deadpan, is that people do believe it. Obviously, he's joking.
Compliments. You used to be able to compliment people. Now it's just called ball washing. I don't owe Shuli anything. He doesn't owe me anything. We just have a mutual interest in doing entertaining, fun shows, and sometimes they concern a certain stuttering idiot. That's all. This guy can't read. All right.
So Anthony, in this new setup, has the chat rolling from YouTube there. I think people are even giving him super chats. They don't use baby StreamYard. This looks like either OBS or some configuration of it. It's not a great production. I'll say this, for what Anthony pays for, there's a lot of improvements that could be made quickly in terms of the actual production.
You gotta love the chat. I'm like Opie reading the chat, just fucking fixated on the chat. All right, Jason M, how you doing, Tom?
And I explained to John Aaron Melendez, don't sit there and read the chat. It is so fucking amateur. And the Dues Payer too, 47 minutes into the show, and they haven't even started yet. Between the long openings no one cares about, just get on with it. That first 10 seconds should be great. It should be funny, not the long, boring openings. And then you read chats for 30 minutes, and then you finally get on with the show. That's why they have not grown at all. I mean, that's the exact reason why, because they're blocking in that. 740, go ahead.
Vince, fraudulent transport. You want to hear one back? 12.5. All right, buddy. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Jeremy, good to see you again. Jason, another Jason. Thanks, man.
And again, he's obviously keeping in that same shtick of doing a deadpan thing. He's saying, don't fucking read the chat. It's so annoying. It's frustrating as a viewer to hear you just telling people where they're from and their name.
AP, good to see you. Do you imagine that the first fucking half hour of your show is just reading a phone book? Like you're just reading a fucking phone book.
Yeah, and he's referring specifically to the Dues Payer as well. I mean, it was 30 minutes of just reading super chats. No one cares that much. And the funny thing is, the super chats are so boring because they don't allow anyone to even have some fun with them in terms of critiquing. All you read is positive super chats from people who are sitting with their mom on their deathbed who's insisting that they listen to the Dues Payer, or it's from a Marine who's in the middle of combat.
Whatever. It's hilarious. I got to play this because it's obligatory. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? The pole vaulter that lost because his dick, his big, meaty French cock, his uncut French dick, hit the crossbar in the pole vault. Which, yes, what an ironic name for the sport. So it's kind of similar to this guy. Like, I don't even know where you train for pole vaulting. I've never known a pole vaulter in my life, but I would assume you got to do this a lot before you're good at it.
Yeah, and this was weird because when I came home, I saw that Lori was alone and watching the Olympics. She never watches sports, but all of a sudden she's watching pole vaulting. We know the most famous pole vaulter in the Dabbleverse has to be my good friend Kyle Casey Armstrong. He was a pole vaulter in high school. He claims he did it because he was attracted to another female on the track team, but he was a pole vaulter.
And before you're good at it to go to the Olympics, I have to imagine everyone that does this is trying to get to the Olympics, because what else is it for? It's not like the kid in high school that plays football and you have these dreams of being in the NFL or baseball, hockey, whatever it might be. This is a sport that, aside from the Olympics, what is it? No one goes to see the pole vaulting goal of getting that gold medal. His dick got in the way.
Thank you for the super sticker, Bo Beardington.
Of the gold. Watch, I'm sure you've seen it, but here he is. Almost makes it around, and big fat cock hits the pole. Big fat cock. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, look at it.
No wonder why Lori is watching this.
Dude, tie that thing down. Wear a fucking, like, a Kevlar jock or something.
Would you rather win a gold medal, which people will forget about, or be known to the entire world that you have a large penis? I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Thing's flopping around like a baby's arm. It's a baby's arm clutching an apple in his pants. There he goes. All of his hopes and dreams gone with one little swipe of his dick. The point is, I don't have to monetize old clips on YouTube.
This was very interesting because I was going to approach Howard about this shit because so much money was being made in the past, including by myself, by compiling Howard's old videos and then putting them on. YouTube would allow you to monetize them. No one would claim copyright, and then you would make money from it. Eventually, because YouTube system developed and they don't allow you to reuse content, so that would stop the monetization of the videos. But if you were the rightful owner of them, you could make significant amounts of money. And I was even anticipating maybe between $1 million and $2 million a month if Howard would actually have complete ownership of his old work and then monetize it properly on YouTube. And you may say, well, that's not a lot of money to Howard or the company, but it is, because if you want to use that money to hire more people or just profit from it, you can. I guess Anthony has old shows. Now, I don't know if they own them or not. I'm not sure. I don't listen to any of the old shows. I listen to old Howard Stern shows, but Anthony was talking about this specific aspect.
To make a little scratch to keep things going. It's nice. And as I see it, super chats and things like that, they're a great kind of way to support this.
Yeah, and I agree with them too. I never beg or grift for the audience, but I do like to get it. Does help when we're in terms of like giving back. I'm going to do another giveaway, I think, on Friday, on Casual Friday. I think we're giving away chicken wings. I'm not sure, but I will figure that out. I just got to qualify it with the new owners here. I don't know if they really want me giving away stuff.
It's motivating, you know? It's nice. And money coming in is always good. You know, I got money invested. I got things which today is taking a shit. But it's nice to do this and people appreciate it enough that I could, you know, make a truck payment or a mortgage payment. Or
I know what he's saying. It is nice. And even when you text people or Twitter them, whatever you do, and just say that the show helps me get through the day, I appreciate it. Trust me, these people love it. They love it. I mean, the criticism bothers most of them. When I'm dealing with other clients that have this type of situation, they can't handle the criticism. But they'll say, hey, well, look, this 4 people said my show was great. And you would not believe the status that some of them have. And yet they're so focused, hyper-focused on either the one criticism or the one compliment that they receive. So it is important.
Whatever the fuck it is. That's nice. I don't care how much money you have or have had or used or spent. You like making money. That's what our capitalist society is all about. Makes you feel useful. So, yeah, I did very well. It's a nice thing. So when I hear Stuttering John say things, and Stuttering John says, you know, I saved a lot of money. I put my kid through college. And then he's yelling at his mom to make him a Hot Pocket downstairs because he's staying at his mommy's house. It's kind of embarrassing at 58 years old.
Well, Anthony was referring for when John was living recently at his mom's house, because John left California. He has no more residence there. So he was living at his mom's house. He was working at his mom's house within the state of New York. But now Anthony doesn't even know. John is living at his mom's Florida house right now. Now, I don't know if John's just visiting there. I don't know if John's mom's house on Long Island is his primary residence or John's mom's house in Florida is his primary residence. But I'm sure that the mortgage company, whoever issued that mortgage, is very curious as to what's going on at the Florida location. Because remember, they lent a lot of money to that place, and John bought during the worst time in the worst area. And who knows where that property value is going to go, but it is no longer John's house. It is John's mom's house. So he is living with mommy.
It's a lot more embarrassing pushing 60, sleeping at your mom's house than it is being in your 60s and talking about the fact that you invested and saved some money and you're okay. But that's Johnny. Some fucking dope. I don't even know who this is. Some dope or a couple of dopes. There's so many dopes that do podcasts now.
So true.
Most of them are the only reason they do a podcast is because so many other people goof on their podcasts. They're such complete assholes. And you know, Chad is one of them. Chad's an idiot. Uncle Rico, of course. And who are these podcasts? John, of course. Steel Toe Guy, Aaron. Just a collection of dimwits, numbskulls, liars, cheats, douchebags. Someone, I don't even know who it was saying that I still do coke, that I still do cocaine, and that they've talked to comics who have done coke with me over the past couple of years, I guess. And I'm like, someone brought that to my attention. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Coke. I stopped doing coke in my 20s, not even into my 30s. I stopped doing coke probably at 26, 27 years old, 88, 89, somewhere around there. And never looked back, never had the urge to do it again. Never saw people doing it and then said, I've seen people do it, but I've never seen that and gone like, oh boy. You know, like Christopher in The Sopranos, when he's watching his buddy shoot up, he goes, just looking at that spike, you know?
Now, I've never done an illegal drug in my life. God knows I haven't done cocaine, but I've had friends that have done it in front of me. The first time I ever saw cocaine was when I went to law school, and only one person did it. My best friend did it there. Now, I did witness something being snorted by some people in Atlantic City. I'm not going to say exactly who, but I don't know if that was cocaine or not. But he brings a good point up in the sense that if you're an adult, do you ever question what you're actually snorting? Because how do you trust what is going into your body? I don't know what the actual controls are in terms of quality when you're dealing with your local drug dealer. And that's what would bother me the most. And of course, I guess if you take too much, it could kill you and all the other negative effects of it. But his premise was the fact that if you're over 40, you shouldn't be doing cocaine. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it affects the body better at 20s, in your 20s compared to when you're in your 40s or 50s or 58 with a friend. Let's call him Hitman Man. Like if you do that at that age, are you more susceptible to dying because of it? I don't know.
Never. I would watch people do coke and go like, what the fuck, are you mental? And then once you get into your 30s and through your 30s, if you're still doing coke, I think you're out of your fucking mind. I think you are mentally ill. It could possibly be the most dangerous thing you could do to yourself once you reach a certain age. It's for kids. Coke is for kids. Cocaine's for the kids. It's not a drug for people entering middle age, and certainly not one if you're in the chick 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 part of the roller coaster.
A cease and desist has.
Now, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with Anthony as to when it is really safe to do cocaine. I would say to the kids and all the kids that watch the show not to do it. There are plenty of other things in life that are better than that. But I'm not going to judge him because I don't have the scars that he has from his childhood, obviously. And either way, a lot of times people say that heroin's one of the most dangerous drugs because it's so addictive and it can kill you that quick. We know that already had a huge issue with it, but it's not fair for me to criticize them because they had their own childhoods. I had my own with its good and its bad, and that's where we are today. All right, we know what happened with John and Melissa. I have to get out of here early today because I have to work and on that actual thing and make sure that we get it in so that we don't have to make any motions to amend the complaint. But obviously, you can read between the lines as to what's going to be done. You will see that publicly, I would say, today or tomorrow. I will be back here on Friday, Casual Friday, and I hope my good buddy John Melendez follows his mom's rules. That is his mom's house, and she should put a list of rules that John Melendez has to follow. When you try and do certain things, they have consequences, and when you live in your mom's house, under her roof, you will abide by her rules, John Melendez. Not your rules, hers. That's her house. You treat it with respect. All right, I'll see everyone back here on Friday. Are you in? Compromisable?
Compromisable.
All right, John Edward Melendez, you follow those rules and everything else will be okay. I'll see everyone back here on Friday, hanging with Vince. It will be a casual Friday.
Gone out to a big corporation, and it will be followed by a lawsuit. And it because it involves in racism. Racism.
Have a fag.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny boy, again, calling someone a fag. I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. I don't care if you said it 35 years ago or 30 minutes ago. There is no place for anybody in my Democrat Party who uses that term in a derogatory manner.